Are you thinking about making a move to Florida and wondering, should you get a pool? Should you put one in later? Is it really worth it? Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this video. My name is Megan Schoner. I'm a local real estate agent here on the Treasure Coast of Florida, specifically in the Port St Lucie, Florida area. And I'd love to share with you a little bit about why I love the Treasure Coast so much so that you can help find your treasure on the Treasure Coast. If you're looking in the next 9 days, 90 days, 9 years, I'm here for you, here to answer any questions that you have and show you a little bit more about the area. So check it out. So in Port St Lucie, Florida, there are currently 1,531 single family homes for sale. This is as of middle of February 2024. And of those 1,500 homes, there's only 389 single family homes that do have a pool, which is about 25% of the total number of homes for sale with a pool. So if you are looking for a pool home, just know that there's only 25% of the homes that do feature a pool. What I do think is interesting, because you guys know me, I always like to look at statistics as well too to share with you. And I looked at specifically 3-bedroom and then 4-bedroom single family homes with pools, just to see, do they sell for more? Does it take longer to sell? Just to share some stats with you guys. So I did find it really interesting. So average cost of just a regular pool here in Port St Lucie is about $80,000. Now you can get them for a little bit less and you can get them for a little bit more depending if you want to put the hot tub in there, what types of finishing and the sizes and features that you want with that. It does change, but on average I would probably plan out about $80,000. That does not include the lanai. So I don't know if you can see above me. The lanai is the screen portion of the pool. All of this screening is the lanai. In some areas they'll call it the cage. We don't use that here. We use lanai. Just a little bit of a nicer thing. I don't like to be known that I'm here in a cage. But anyway, so the lanai is extra, and that is surprisingly expensive too. That could be, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on top of the cost of the pool. So just something to note on that as well. What I found interesting on 3-bedroom homes with a pool and without a pool. So with a pool, the median sales price was $495,000, and the days on market, which means how many days the house was on the market before it went under contract, was 36 days versus just a standard 3-bedroom home without a pool. The sales price was $377,500 and the days on market was 28 days. So that is a big increase, over $100,000. So if you are thinking about purchasing a pool and wondering, what the resale value on that is, we are seeing that it is definitely increasing the value of a home with a pool. What I thought was really interesting though, and it was a little bit surprising to me, is the days on market. So 28 days for home without a pool versus 36 days if you did have a pool. The more I thought about it, it does make sense because there's not as many people that may be looking for a pool home. Got, everybody from all ages, and some people don't want to maintain a pool. So, I guess it did take a little longer. And really, I think the big thing too is just the increase in sales price. So there's not as many people that can spend up to $500,000 and really want that pool. So that was interesting on the 3 bedrooms. And then the same trend continued on the 4 bedrooms as well too. So the average Port St Lucie 4-bedroom home median sales price as of February 2024 was $452,862 with 29 days on the market. And then a 4-bedroom pool home, the median sales price was $540,000 with 50 days on market. So saw the same trends there. It is just kind of interesting. Usually I would think that the pool homes would move a little bit quicker, but we are here in January, February. So maybe come the summertime, the numbers may change a little bit. But as of February of this year, those are the stats. So things that are great about having a pool, obviously, you're going to want to see, if you don't buy a home with a pool initially, and let's say you're doing new construction, there are two good options. There is a new construction community called Belterra, and they actually will build with, the pool is included with the new construction home. And then if you want to do a standalone, what we call like a spec home here in Port St Lucie, just on a regular lot, Grand Construction also will add that to your construction perm loan and include that in the price there as well too. So those are 2 options if you want to have a new construction home and you want to have a pool with it. I always recommend to my clients too, if you're thinking about a pool and that's really important to you, look for a resale, because you're going to get a lot more value with the house and the pool's already done. You may even have the pool heaters that you don't have to pay for that. You may have extra fencing in the lanai and stuff like that. So if a pool home is really important to you, look for it and let your realtor know right away, and make sure that is a search item that you guys are looking at. The other thing too about a pool is, did you have it heated or not heated? It's really up to you. We do have a lot of different options in terms of gas heating or electric heating, or even solar panels, or like we have in our pool, a solar blanket that we put on in the winter. You have to think about, how often are you going to use the pool? I know when we first got it, we used it all the time, especially when the kids were younger. In the summer, we were probably in and out of the pool like 3 times a day. So we were definitely always in there. And now we probably use it, maybe once a week or so. So it's great for the winter because it does, now I get cold in the winter. So I wouldn't swim in the winter without the pool heater. But you can always do that. And then the summertime, obviously you don't need it. The pool gets almost too hot. It's almost bath water here. So we like having the lanai because it does cool it down in the summer. The other thing to think about is when you're looking at a house is what direction the sun is on the pool all day. If it is an eastern or like an eastern exposure, you're going to have the sun all day long. It's going to heat the pool up. If you're at a western exposure, you don't really get as much sun on it. So just something to think about. If it's something that you're not sure about and you want to add later, here in Port St Lucie, our standard lots are 10,000 square feet. That is a quarter of an acre, and you can fit a pool on virtually any lot. So you don't have to worry about, is there room for a pool? Almost every single home in the area does have room in the back for the pool. One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is moving here from Chicago. I was used to, nice, beautiful grass outside and, wanting to be outside. When we first moved here, we didn't have a pool. We ended up putting it in later, but we thought the grass was great for the kids to play in. And then we realized that the grass has we have fire ants down here. I was never worried about ants before we moved to Florida, but they sting your feet. It's really, really bad. So we don't spend a whole lot of time out in the grass because of that. Also, the grass is really tough here. Makes sense because we're outside in the sun all the time, and the grass needs to be really hardy. But even with a nice Floratam grass, it is kind of thick, and it's not like grass up north where it's nice and you want to walk barefoot in and stuff like that. So having a pool actually does span your outdoor living space. And if you don't want a pool, you just want a nice lanai just to be outside, on this beautiful day with this screen enclosure and stuff like that, it does make a big difference. The other thing with the lanai too, if you're looking at a pool and trying to decide if you want, a covered lanai pool or if you want it open, something to consider too is when you have lanai, it is fantastic because it'll keep all of the branches and everything out of the pool, but it actually cools the pool down almost 10 degrees. So if that is a big deal to you in the winter and you don't want to have a heater, you may not want to have the lanai. If you have an area with lots of trees all around it and you don't want to constantly be cleaning your pool, then maybe the lanai makes a lot of sense for you. So that is another option. Another thing to consider when you're looking at a pool down here is if you wanted a chlorine pool or a saltwater pool. So before I moved to Florida, I'd never heard of a chlorine pool. I thought that was like, being on the cruise ship and having the salt water, from the ocean. But the preferred pool down here is actually a saltwater pool. What that means is, it's in terms of the chlorination, it's just made, we basically pour a bag of salt in there and then it chlorinates the pool. So it is a lot easier to maintain. It's a lot better for your skin, kids' eyes. It's a great system. So if you are looking for homes and you see a saltwater pool, it doesn't taste like salt water. You don't notice that it's salt water. It's just easier on your skin and your eyes and everything. So that is another thing. But we have lots of options down here in sunny South Florida. So really it just comes down to personal preference. Is having a pool really important to you? Is it something that you've always dreamed of and you really want? Is it really important to your family to be able to have access to the pool? Or is it something that you just like to look at and maybe a house with a lake view might be a better fit for you until you come down and have a chance to decide if having a pool makes sense for you? Some people just don't want the maintenance or the extra expense on that, and really just having the view of the water is enough for them. So there's lots of different options. Again, it just comes down to personal preference. You can't go wrong, and you guys know that I'm always here to help you. So if you are looking for a pool home here on the Treasure Coast or a house without the pool, let me know. I'm always here to help.